In today's video we're going to take a look at Battlefield 1 and the premium framework that currently operates there. Now we've seen it before with Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4 with additional maps available to purchase at different times during the year. You can obviously pay for the entire premium pass, and that way you can get all of the maps wrapped into one bundle and receive them when they come out, often with other perks as well, but again in Battlefield 4 they were available to buy separately. Now the question is this the way to go? In Battlefield games recently it's been definitely argued that premium splits the player base and is causing more problems than it really should. So currently, what does premium offer you? Is it worth it for those that can afford it? Well, you get 16 maps, 20 new weapons, new vehicles, new behemoths, dog tags, weapon skins, and of course other stuff. It does all cost a lot of money to make, and that is why it has that price tag on it, especially if DICE are creating things after they've created the original game. That takes money, and that's the way the business works. Looking at the last DLC that we did get for Battlefield 1, you can clearly see that we got lots of different maps in terms of the game modes that could have been played on there, and a lot of thought and design has gone into them. Whether you like them or not is a different thing, but there's no doubt in my mind that they do cost money to make, and that is obviously where the price comes from. The same can be seen with Battlefield 4. We got all those different maps that were provided for us. A few were given for free, such as Zavod Graveyard Shift, Dragon Valley and the Community Map Project. But there were still those main DLC packages that came through, and you could purchase premium and get them all at different times. Now it's quite obvious that DICE wanted these things to be given to all of the community and didn't want to split them, and that can be seen in BF4 when they did provide the free DLC for everybody, and they've done that again in different Battlefield games throughout time in a bid to try and get all of the community together playing on the same maps. Why would they want to design something and then not let the community play it? The main problem that can be seen here, whether you agree or not, it is the actual fact. Premium does split the player base, and you have people who buy premium, get access to the maps, and then can't ever find enough servers with people playing on them because either people don't own the map and people don't own the DLC, or people go back to the vanilla game mode because they find it easier to get a game. That's definitely the case in Battlefield 4 and has been for quite a while. I know for certain maps such as Propaganda, incredibly popular maps, never get any airtime and you can't ever find a server with that in the rotation. There are a few. The point is, it would be a lot easier to play this game if everybody had access to the map straight away. What is the solution to this then? Because it's an obvious problem that needs some thought put into it. Well, looking at what DICE have recently tried to implement, Premium Friends allowed a premium player to bring a friend along and access the maps that they were playing. This is great because if you did have a friend that maybe couldn't afford premium or didn't play the game enough to really warrant having it, they could still enjoy playing with you on some of the new maps, and you having premium, you might want to play on them and test them out. They of course were held back a little bit with not being able to get scores, not being able to try some of the DLC weapons, the DLC tanks and such. But again, it was kind of a nice shortcut for players to have a go and just bridge the gap between non-premium and premium players. This, however, is more of a temporary fix, I think, and especially coming up in future Battlefield games, there will be more changes made, whether it's by DICE or by EA. It's important to note as well that most of the changes do come from the top from EA, not necessarily from the DICE employees. I'm pretty certain that DICE would want everybody playing the game for as cheap as possible, while EA are more money driven. That is definitely why you've seen changes over time that kind of fit in line with EA's business model that of course has changed with other games too. The solution in my eyes is to move away from a premium package completely and more to one that offers microtransactions and more character customization. You've seen this in other games such as Grand Theft Auto, where the initial package and the core parts of the game are given for free, and it's clear how well some of those games are doing. Westy's recently made a video on this looking at what he thinks should be implemented, and I do share quite a similar idea. You're trying to get as many people playing the game as possible, you're trying to keep the community together without splitting them, without affecting the gaming experience, whilst earning money for the company that creates the game. Premium definitely earns money, there's no doubt about that. The way that you pay for extra content and keep the game fresh with new content over the year since the game's release has proven to work in the past. But as I said before, there's definitely a better way round. Now the microtransaction route would involve players having to pay for things such as battle packs that would allow them to then change their character's appearance. This would mean that players that don't care about character customization wouldn't have any change in the gameplay experience at all. In fact, they would have a better experience because there'd be more people playing the new premium maps. Those that do care about character customization would then have the funds that they probably had already spent on premium available to spend on their character. Now if done correctly, DICE and EA could make a lot of money off this whilst improving the gameplay experience for everybody. The only drawback I can see to this is if EA and DICE got wind of this being a way to earn money and kept the premium package and brought in microtransactions, which of course they kinda have done with battle packs, but as you can still earn those through the game, maybe not so much. I for one would be very pleased if I could log into a game of Battlefield 4 and have all the maps available to me, and then see a couple of people running around with exclusive skins, rare weapon skins, maybe a slightly different soldier uniform, maybe some extra perks for them as well at the same time. But nothing that's really going to make me that jealous, because it's obviously there for me to purchase, and it definitely won't split the community. Another way around this would be to make premium members have early access to the maps, and then after a month or so, the rest of the community can then have free access to them as well. The only reason I don't see this working is if you have people purchasing premium, knowing that they're the only ones who are going to be able to play the game, they're essentially going to have exclusive access to the DLC. If they then knew that they would have the maps for free after 30 days, they wouldn't buy premium. As a content creator, I probably still would, because I want to try out the maps. I'm a part of the community and I'd really want to know what's going on. But as your average player, I probably wouldn't, because I'd know that I'd get it in 30 days anyway, so what's the real point? That's why I think microtransactions for unimportant visual customization is the way that Battlefield should go. That's the route they should take, and I really do think that if a future Battlefield game implemented this, they would then have the luxury of having more players playing the game, and therefore more players wanting to have a unique experience, which is of course the main thing when gaming. Whenever you're online, you want to show off what you're good at the game, you want to show off what character customization you've got, you want to record your clips and put them on YouTube. That's what everybody does, and that's the way that you can earn money through a game like this, whilst keeping everybody happy. If you do share a similar opinion to me, or of course maybe something different, please leave it down in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you've got to say. I for one would love to see this at least tried and a proper model brought up to see what the impact will be on the game. I know it's worked in Grand Theft Auto and that game is still going incredibly strong, maybe not down to exactly that model, but of course that has helped it. Thanks for watching guys, if you did enjoy please leave a like, and I'll catch you in the next video.